Yo, what it do, virtual hoopers? This your boy Juke King the Boss here to talk a little bit more about next gen's installment of NBA 2K21. Now, with just 10 days away, one of the latest courtside reports that we got was focusing on the WNBA improvements that are coming to NBA 2K21 on next gen. There was a lot of information there. I really spent a lot of time going through the article and really picking it apart because a lot of these improvements that are being made for the WNBA's integration also will have somewhat of an effect on the other game modes in NBA 2K moving forward. And I really want to discuss these with you all. So let's go straight into it. And the first thing they focused on, of course, was now they're including fully customizable multi-season WNBA franchise mode, and they call it My WNBA. Now, when they talked about that, the first thing I looked at and saw what they meant by fully customizable. And just like the NBA 2K franchise mode, you can, set up the league that you want with the inclusion and exclusion of whatever teams you want. Maybe they'll add it so that way you can add more teams for the WNBA. Because right now you got 12 teams. Maybe they'll have it so you can add more. Each NBA team might have a female counterpart now, and that would be cool if you can create that kind of environment. But at the same time, you can adjust the rules, the finances, the CBA, the draft, and everything in between. So things like the scheduling and how many games they play, it would be great to see just how far they go with that. Whether you can effectively create a WNBA that is on the same, time constraints and rival of NBA's GM mode or NBA's franchise mode. So that would be pretty cool to have that kind of control. But the biggest thing that stood out was the CBA. Now the CBA stands for Collective Bargaining Agreement. It's essentially a set of guidelines that govern the league's relationship with the players' union, right? And so the best way I can kind of describe that is look at the current status in the NBA. So the NBA wants to start the season in around Christmas, and the players want to start the season around late January, around Martin Luther King Day. So the league has to, take this into consideration, and if they can't start the season on the date that they want, and they have to go with the date that the players want, that the players agree with, then effectively they could end up shortening the season. So the reason why I tell you this is because the CBA gives the players not only a voice, but it gives them some kind of say in what way the league shapes, which direction the league takes. So having that inclusion could mean that not only if you turn on the option to allow for rules to be changed, okay, how much the players would affect it. Speaking with players now, not just about what goes on the court, but the ways that they have an effect on the league in general and the direction the league goes. So that inclusion will be pretty cool. You can always look up what the players union is responsible for in these leagues, and you'll get a better understanding as to how big of an effect that could have if implemented in that way in 2K. And then, so of course, the basics, you can skip the seasons altogether, go straight to playoff mode. You can play with friends with online leagues, a welcomed addition. You can turn on some role playing elements and play it as a GM. So instead of playing it as an owner, you just play it as a general manager. And then for the experienced players who want the challenge, they can up the difficulty and compete on the leaderboards. Something that has already existed in NBA's GM and league and my league mode. Now they, like I said, so they wanted to really flesh that out, and to me that's a great step in the right direction. But that's not where they stopped. They had more to talk about, and of course we're here to talk about the W. Now the W is the NBA 2K's female counterpart to My Career. So the W is the female WNBA My Career. All right, and essentially when you read through it, it feels a little bit like it looks a little bit like NBA Live, the one, but this time unlike the one, you can actually play league games. So you can actually play games in the WNBA. So that's going to be pretty cool. And so let's look at the details that they went behind it. So the first thing they focused on, of course, was building your My Player. So for the first time, you'll be able to create WNBA My Players. And you can even import your face scan. And they'll have 30 base heads that you can utilize, but you'll be able to, that you can utilize and completely customize. But you'll be able to import your face scan. Now, that thing stood out to me because hopefully that means that we'll actually see some actual improvements to the face scan app. Like I had a good face scan for the current gen NBA 2K21, but that's because I've taken those pictures over and over and over and over, 5-6 different times. And when I finally imported a model that I liked, it came out really well. So hopefully they done revamp the face scan app and the technology they use within it to give you a better face scan, even with different lighting conditions, able to kind of like work with it a lot better. Now, when it comes down to creating the players, one of the things that they focused on is that so the WNBA players start off at level 1 and they can progress all the way up to level 10. And so as they level up, it doesn't seem like they're adding points to different categories, but they haven't focused too many details on it as well. So WNBA players look like they'll start off at around like 75 overall. But before we talk about that, you got a list of the player types. Now, and I'm not going to read all these off. It's a lot of them here, but essentially, it's the same player models, player archetypes that they've had in past 2Ks. And I don't mind that. It feels a little restrictive, but you got to start somewhere and then move forward and learn from that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how using the old system of archetypes is going to work, because we still have to see how this new system of free-forming archetype is going to work. So, you know, it's good to see that we'll have something that feels similar, and then we'll have something that's, you know, brand new. And so how these two interact with one another is going to be pretty cool, and how they affect each other and change down the line. So they had some good builds. And one of the biggest things is that, you know, body, when it comes down to your body settings, height, weight, and wingspan will still affect your My Player's attributes from the starting point to the level 10. Now, here's something that really did stand out to me, which is why it's important. So when they talked about the player types, it say the reason why it's one of the most important early decisions, because it'll determine your My Player's initial attributes and those when the player progresses from progression level 1 all the way up to level 10. So it doesn't seem like you're going to have complete control over what your attributes max out to at all. Like it seems like it's going to be very, very limited. And that could be good, that could be bad. It really depends on how it all works out and what those levels look like. But I fear the limitation, but I'm waiting to see how it comes out when the game comes out. Now, of course, just like in the NBA's version of it, you'll be able to choose a primary and secondary takeover. And there's some really key information about the primary and secondary takeover that we'll get to in just a second. So they focused on things like your on the court and off the court WNBA players. So the first thing they looked at is they told you that the progression is tracked through 5, I think it's 5 categories. So yeah, you got your My Career progression, your My Points progression, your player progression. That's what's going to, yeah. So essentially you're going to start off with a 75 overall, and as you level up through progression by playing games, in the league and in the W online, by playing games, you're going to add to your progression, and increasing your progression is going to increase your overall. Now, the next thing they talked about was popularity. When you look at popularity, it's about your personal popularity, and that's supposed to have an effect on the gear that you can get, the endorsements that you can get, so the shoe endorsements and things of that nature. The next one they talked about was WNBA popularity. Now, where this differs from popularity is that it's going to affect the popularity of the league itself. So the bigger you can grow that popularity, the bigger your popularity can grow, the quicker your popularity can grow, and the bigger your wealth can grow. So that's gonna be pretty cool to see how that all entails, and we'll talk about how you're going to do those things in just a moment. The next one is wealth. Now, wealth was one that kind of tripped me up a little bit because you earn the wealth via your WNBA salary. Now, it's been said that you don't use VC when it comes down to upgrading your WNBA player. So since you're not using VC, will the salary that you earn, will the wealth that you earn actually be a wealth that you can use within this game mode and everything? And that would be cool if it is. But it does seem like it's just more along the lines of the way they explain it is that the more your wealth goes up, the more you'll have more clothing options. It doesn't say anything about a store where you can go and purchase this clothing and everything. You get a little sample of progression unlocks. So when you get to level 6, you can earn some arm sleeves, and you also get to influence the rotations of your team. When you get to level 7, you can edit the playbook, and you also earn the progression shoes. When you get to level 8, you can suggest trade options, trade targets, and more animations, of course. And then when you get to level 9, you can suggest free agents you want your team to target. So just like the NBA, as you level up and get more and more popular, you can have more influence over teams' decisions as a leader, as a big dog on the team. And so they tell you that how would you do that? Well, it's simple. It's all dependent on, first of all, you earn progression through playing games. Okay. Everything else is going to be dependent on what you do on your off days. So you'll be able to spend your off days growing, helping the league grow, securing more money for yourself, setting up your career after basketball. Or you can just kind of space it around, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. Kind of makes you feel like one of the older NBA 2Ks, I think like 2K16, 2K17, where you did have off days and you can choose to go to practice, or you could choose to do this event to gain some more fans that helped you to increase the endorsement opportunities getting to you quicker instead of just focusing on earning fans playing games. So that's pretty cool. And as you can see, the jump shot creator will be a part of the WNBA's My Career mode. And that's going to be cool. I wonder if they're going to have all the jump shot bases and releases in there, or if it's going to be a very limited number. I would think that they would have all of them in there, but we never know. We never know. Okay. Now, popularity, they talked about how popularity's main goal is increasing the players' popularity and the endorsements that you'll earn along the way. You can earn Nike, Jordan, Adidas, Under Armour, Puma, or New Balance or Converse endorsements. All right, so that's going to help you to get the shoes that you want to rock and this, that, and the other. So that's going to be cool. Now, the WNBA popularity, this is where things get a little more tricky, because when you can help the WNBA's popularity by doing various off the court jobs. Okay. And by doing that, what it would do is increase more national televised games that you'll be able to play in. And that's going to help you earn more personal fans than if you were playing in nationally televised games, and so that's cool. Now it also increases the player salaries that will increase your wealth. And well, that's always going to be a plus, right? Now, so the next thing they focused on, of course, was player wealth. There's not too much here about player wealth. It just literally helps you to unlock more gear that you can earn. And so it feels like it's the smallest part, but it could have the biggest impact in the role playing element of NBA 2K's My WNBA, TheW game mode, right? That was a lot to say, right? So then, of course, the last thing they talked about in these categories was the teammate chemistry. Now, the teammate chemistry is very important because it says having a high teammate chemistry level will have some important game impacts, such as unlocking the second takeover. All right. Now, usually you could always unlock both your takeovers and everything. Like if it's only going to affect you individually, and you had to get your teammate, grade up to get your teammate chemistry up, so that when your teammate chemistry got to a certain level, you could unlock that team takeover feature. But this time it looks like you'll have to get your teammate chemistry to another level before you can get to the team takeover level. And it'd be good to see how that's going to work out in both the WNBA's My Career and the NBA's My Career when it comes down to it. But they also say that the teammate chemistry in the WNBA My Career will unlock accessories, and that these accessories you'll be able to use in WNBA games and the W Online. And we'll talk about the W Online in just a second because that mode looks really cool. Now, the off-season and off-day jobs, right? Now, when they went into doing this, they did a lot of studies to see what these women do in their off days and what these women do during their off season. So they broke it down into five groups, right? So essentially you got coach, all right? So what you do in the off days and in the off season will affect how you level up and how you progress. Now, so when they thought about the categories, coach category talks about like Chrissy Tolliver. Now, if you don't know Chrissy Tolliver, plays in the WNBA, but she also is an assistant coach for the Washington Wizards. And so essentially it helps her to, it says it helps to benefit mostly your progression, but it also helps benefit teammate chemistry, right? As a coach, you get to learn the game, you get knowledge of the game from a coach's perspective, and it helps improve your abilities. So I can understand why that would affect your player progression, but I can also understand how it affects your teammate chemistry, because as a coach, you gotta kind of know how to bring your team together. So that's gonna be cool. Now, entrepreneur, thinking they thought about somebody like Jessica Breland. Now, I did a little research, and she has I think a health and wellness like spa center. I don't want to disrespect it because I think it looks like a health and wellness center and everything. Looks really cool though, but this is her own little business. Well, I can't say little business because this bad boy looks beastly, right? But this is her own business, and it's something she invested her time in, invested her money in, and it talks and using this kind of entrepreneurial setup. It's focused on doing these jobs to impact your wealth, to gain you some extra side money, right? Extra money that's going to help benefit you down the line, right? Because wealth helps to unlock more gear and things of that nature. So the quicker you unlock your wealth, the quicker you can get these gigs. Now, fashion icon. Now, I looked up Liz Cambridge, and I hope I said that right, but I looked her up, and the only thing I was coming across was like photo shoots, and so it started to make sense when I read a little bit more in the article, right? So fashion matters, like they say. And when you decide to become a fashion icon and everything like that, doing those jobs will help increase your popularity. Okay. So I said, okay, well, that's pretty cool. A lot of these things kind of like more so felt like all of them should have some increase on your popularity. But I got to go back a little bit because I skipped one that is extremely important to me, which was the global icon. Now, we all know basketball. Everybody around the world loves basketball, right? And it says that these jobs focus on reaching the international audience. And so they thought about Diana Taurasi. And the thing about her is I think she got like six gold medals and everything, 6-7 gold medals. And so essentially it's about increasing the WNBA popularity, because you go around the world, you win tournaments, you win gold medals. You know what I'm saying? Your name goes up there. Well, what league is this person in? The WNBA helps bring more viewers to WNBA games. Okay, cool. And then the last one they talked about was an influencer. So like Breonna Stewart, Candace Parker, you see a lot of them. You see them on social media a lot. Really getting involved, and all these women get involved in things, but you really see them on the forefront of getting involved. Candace Parker is one of the spokeswomen for NBA 2K. And she was one of the spokeswomen for NBA Live. So when it come down to it, like, these influencers are all about getting the message out there, and they gain fans through those messages. But at the same time, their fans, bring more people in as well. So it's about having that connection. So we're kind of running a little longer than wanted, but I wanted to really focus on how these things can affect the NBA 2K's My Career. Now, I would love to see some of these icon things focus in the NBA as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I won't be mad if these things are exclusive to the WNBA because of the impact that they have on the game mode itself. But I would love to see some things like that in my career NBA style. You know, y'all know I'm gonna do my career NBA style. I'm gonna test out this WNBA. Me and my sister, we're gonna get a little run in it and see how she feels about it, how I feel about it, and we're gonna figure out where we think that they can, you know, improve upon, and, you know, the general direction. But the next thing they focused on was talking about how you'll meet WNBA players and you'll gain contracts by progressing through the jobs, and you'll make them, and as you make them as contacts, they'll send you texts. I'm hoping that it's more than just sending you texts, because we all know how annoying it got. LeBron sending us a text, man, that was a fantastic dunk. You must have been studying my tape, or Isaiah Thomas giving you props on how great of a dunk you did, man. Talking about something, man, it looked like one of my moves. Really, dude? Really, dude? Okay, but I would love to see it go further than that, because I would love to at least be able to say, okay, well, if I'm playing WNBA, right, and I want to invite them to like my court and play them in a 1-on-1 or play them in a 2-on-2, that would be cool to have that. We do have that in NBA 2K's My Career mode, so I would love to see if they add that to the female counterpart of WNBA's TheW. Now, the W Online, the last part, one of the biggest things about it is, of course, you not just want to have it so that way they can play WNBA games. You got to give them the option to be able to play online as well. Now, just so you know, this is an exclusive game mode, exclusive to the W, and the W Online is supposed to be a 3v3 multiplayer game, right? Just similar to Park Brews and everything. So when it comes down to it, I like the aspect of being able to, you know, build your WNBA player and then take them online. Like, all of this feels like NBA Live 19s, them live runs, except the live runs with 5v5. But there's a lot to break down just within it on itself. Now, first of all, look at that court. That court is fire, right? Second of all, for those who don't know this by now, no, WNBA and NBA My Career players will not be playing in the same settings and in the same modes and everything. Okay, so we're not there yet. I'm looking forward to a point where we get there, because this is a game, all in all, and I would love to see, you know, the streets be where everybody just comes to hoop. Okay, man, woman, and child, everybody comes to hoop. And then some of the screenshots they showcase, this was one of my favorite ones, mainly because, as you can see, you got a collection of different shorts that you can go with, and that's gonna be pretty cool. As you can see right there, I swear, man, what's up with these 2K generics, man? You know, what's up with these 2K generics? Okay, so we know the 2K generics will be making a return, and they will be a prominent return in the WNBA's the W mode. And they, like I said, so this is a big step forward for them. I really enjoyed reading this. I'm sorry I took up a lot of your time, almost 30 minutes, but I really did enjoy reading this. I'm hoping that they continue to progress forward and take the necessary steps that they need to take. Don't throw it all in at one time and just see what stick. Take it piece by piece. Add things here, add things there, because that's ultimately how you're going to create this great mode. Remember when they first included the WNBA in NBA 2K, it did feel like you were playing something different. Some of it felt cleaner, it felt smoother, it felt like it ran a whole lot better. And to me, that's what allows for the creation of a better gameplay experience. So I'm looking forward to trying this mode out, along with trying out the WNBA's my WNBA, the WNBA GM mode, WNBA franchise mode. I'm looking to see what kind of effect these things have on the NBA 2K mode, My Career mode, and the NBA 2K franchise mode. So guarantee we still got a few more things left to drop. Like I said, 2K comes out on November 10th on Xbox Series X and November 12th on PlayStation 5. So we are literally just over a week away, 10 days to be exact. And they still got a little bit of information left to drop. Things like the park information, the new direction that the neighborhood is taking. I think they said it's not gonna be called the neighborhood anymore, but there's a lot of rumors going around, and we'll talk about those in another video. But just like y'all, I'm patiently waiting for them to drop those improvements as well. But I wanted to share my thoughts on these. Sorry it took so long. I wanted to take it piece by piece. If you did enjoy it, And make sure you leave a like. If you're new and you stuck around to the end, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We do 2K content as often as possible, adding new games every single chance we get as well. We got more news coming out this week because we only got 10 days left. So until the next time, I'm going to catch you guys. It's your boy Ju King the Boss, and I'm out. Peace.